Welcome. Domain Day from cheapwinefinder.com. With another wine review for a wine we wrote up on the cheapwinefinder.com website. This one's for one of life's seldom found pleasures, bargain champagne. And this one is the Monsigny Brut Champagne. It's from Aldi, which is not surprising. Aldi, this wine has been made for Aldi Europe and UK since 2012, and I've only been aware of it in the United States since 2019. And in 2019, it was my favorite wine of the year. I drink a lot of different wines across the year. I never drink anything, the same wines twice. I always go to the next one. And the one at the end of the year, I think then it was $19.99, now it's $24.99. Price went up $5, but the price of champagne in general went up $5. We'll talk about that a little bit later, just a little bit. I'm going to take a sip of this one because it tastes great. This is 60% Pinot Noir, 30% Pinot Meunier, which is one of the grapes. It's a red grape that they use in champagne all the time. And 10% Chardonnay. There's also a Brut that might show up this year. If it does, we'll grab that too. I think we did it last year or the year before. And I like to keep the store brands because you don't know if the store brands are actually the same year after year. Where most champagne houses, if you have it once, it's probably going to be good for the next 5 years. They do change things a little here and there as tastes change, but, at least some do. But this is, like I said, my favorite champagne of 2019 when I had it the first time. It was like, whoa. It was $20. Back in those days, you could find a good mainstream champagne for $35 in December. This year, it's $45. I saw a Taittinger or a Taittinger, I'm never sure how to pronounce those names, for $39 at my local big box wine store. And that's about as cheap as you can get for champagne, and that's not a bad price in these days, but this undercuts that by a good $15. And unless you're a big fan of Taittinger, because you probably don't know who Monsigny is, but if you don't, this is real deal. This is delicious. This is a really, really well-made champagne, and they sell a lot of it because Aldi moves a lot of wine. It's like Costco's the largest wine seller in the United States. Sometimes, in most places, you can only sell wine in your state. There's only a few places that have national and wide range of selling range. They can sell it all over. And Aldi's one of the stores that can sell in Europe, can sell in the United States, can sell in Australia, and I'm not even sure where else they are. I'm going to take another sip. You can move a lot of wine with Aldi, and that's, the Aldi US doesn't have the reputation Aldi Europe does, where Trader Joe's is kind of known for a place where you can get bargains. Aldi's has a smaller selection. They still have good wines, but it's Trader Joe's has the wine, and Trader Joe's is an Aldi in Europe too. It's Aldi North. But you can get really good wines, and this thing wins international awards. They put this up all the time, and it's going against champagnes selling for 3 times as much, and it holds its own. I mean, this is legitimately good champagne. Now, if you go to your local Aldi, they might only have, one case in the store. That's one of the problems with Aldi. They don't keep a lot of wine around. And for $25, if you want a real deal champagne and you don't want to spend $45, $50 on a champagne that has a big name, but you don't really know it that well, this one can't be beat. Plus, it's one of my favorites. Like I said, I get to drink champagnes on when there's wine tasting season, I get to go to those things. So even though I'm the cheap wine finder, I taste champagnes throughout the year, and I love champagne. I'll take another sip. Because this has more red fruit in it, you get a little bit more rounded, and the flavors are more like, when you drink a still wine, like a Cabernet Sauvignon, you can actually taste the blackberry. You can go, that's blackberry, that's plum, that's this. Here, you can't really define the flavors as much. There's suggestions of flavors. There's grapefruit. the acidity is really sleek and really lets the flavors unfold. And the acidity is almost like part of the flavor profile. It's so right where it needs to be. It's like you want that briskness. That's part of what makes this thing taste great. And I'm going to pontificate how great this is. This is a legitimately excellent champagne. I mean, just because it's $25, used to be $19.99. Don't worry about the extra $5. It's worth it. Don't think that it can't be as good as the other ones are. Yeah, it can be as good as the other ones are. I'm not putting the other ones down at all. I like champagne. But I also really, really like the Monsigny Brut Champagne from Aldi. I mean, it's just like unexpected treat. I mean, it's, this is like the last place you would expect to find one of the elite pleasures in the wine world. Just took another sip so you can tell I really like it. Yeah, it's got good length. It's got great flavor. It's got lip smacking acidity, but not overpowering. Sometimes with a cheap white wine, that lip smacking acidity makes you sip at another wine. It's kind of fun, but you don't want fun necessarily with champagne. You want elegance, and the acidity gives us a bright expression. Everything seems to be alive, and yeah, it's really good. I mean, you can't get a better champagne for $25 out there. It just ain't going to happen. So that's it for me, Domain Dave. This is a home run. This is a delicious wine. This is $25 well spent. It's the Monsigny Brut Champagne from Aldi. It kicks butt. It is a delicious wine. This is worthy of toast for weddings, 50th anniversaries, New Year's Eve. This doesn't take second place to anybody else. Unless you're spending $800 on a bottle of bubbly, this is as good as any of them. That's it for me. Like us where you like your podcast. We got more bubblies coming up. Got all sorts of stuff. We're going to be kind of bubbly heavy because champagnes are expensive this year, so we're going to try alternatives. But that's it. So like us like where you like your podcast, if you will. Stay safe and warm. I'll be talking to everybody in a couple of days. Adios. Bye-bye. Keep it cheap.